I mean, I grew up at a gold mine with my grandpa, and he had a lot of health problems. So I started taking over a lot of the responsibilities when I was about 16, which was also our first year on Gold Rush. So that was, I think, 7 years ago.
While most teenagers think about exams, parties, and dating, this kid was in love with one thing: his grandpa's work in the gold mine. Parker Schnabel was sleeping on a friend's couch in Los Angeles while owning a multi-million-dollar gold mine in the Yukon at just 18 years old. By 24, he had already pulled over $13 million worth of gold out of the ground. His workers made more than some doctors. His trucks and toys cost more than most people's homes. On TV, you see the gold pours and the big cleanouts. What the cameras don't show are the bad deals, the lawsuits, the speeding ticket that turned into a headline, the cameraman kicked off a show after a screaming match, the grandfather's classic car pawned to pay wages, and the girlfriend who walked away because the mine always came first. This is the real story behind the rich lifestyle of Parker Schnabel. From a 5-year-old driving machines at Big Nugget Mine, to a teenager betting his entire college fund, to a 20-something signing a $15 million deal that nearly buries him in debt. Haines, Alaska is a small town with big weather, around 1,700 people. Long winters, short summers, and a simple rule: if something breaks, you either fix it or do without. The Schnabel family chose to fix things. Their classroom was Big Nugget Mine, a real gold mine, not a tourist show. At 5 years old, Parker is in real machines, loaders, dozers, heavy equipment that can crush a car trusted to a child, because his grandfather, John Schnabel, believes in teaching responsibility young. The routine is basic and tough. Check the oil before breakfast, walk the site before the sun is up, learn the sounds of pumps, bearings, and belts. Haines teaches him that the cold doesn't care who your family is. The ground doesn't care about feelings. Work hard and you get paid. Slack off and you get nothing. John is more than a grandfather. He is a mentor and a boss. When he dies at 96 on March 18th, 2016, the mine loses its leader and Parker loses the man who taught him that real operations run on planning, not luck. But the mine doesn't stop. The conveyor keeps moving. Bills keep coming. Someone has to run it. That someone is still a teenager. Most teenagers choose a college. Parker stares at his college fund, $663,000. Then he looks at iron, pumps, hoses, wash plants. Instead of choosing a campus, he makes a different move. No university, no dorm room. Every dollar goes into gear. That money buys up time. Extra filters and fluids, strong belts, water systems that can deal with frozen ground. His teacher is no longer a professor. It's a short northern mining season where every breakdown eats into payroll. At 16, he also steps in front of TV cameras. Producers are unsure. A teenager leading a mining crew sounds like a gimmick, but then they watch him work. He's not a mascot. He can explain the entire mine from digging a cut to cleaning up the mats. Then comes the first big payoff in the Klondike: 1,029 ounces of gold in a single season. At the time, that's worth over $1.7 million. It's more than a big payday. It's proof that turning college money into machines was not some crazy stunt. From there, the numbers keep climbing. By the age of 24, the total value of gold he has pulled is over $13 million. While most people his age are just starting careers, he is already running one, and it's a very expensive one. Gold Rush makes him famous, but it also pays him very well. When he joins the show, he negotiates around $25,000 per episode. As his story becomes the main draw, that number climbs toward $100,000 per episode. That's up to $2 million per season just from TV. The mine itself also throws off serious money. In one season, his crew pulls around $24 million worth of gold. His best workers are earning more than some doctors. The hours are longer, the risk is higher, and the work is a lot dirtier, but the paychecks are real. With that kind of money, he could easily buy mansions, supercars, private jets, and live the classic rich celebrity lifestyle. Instead, the picture is a lot different. At one point, he is still sleeping on a friend's couch in Los Angeles, even while reports say he owns a house in Haines, land in the Yukon, and one of the biggest land positions in parts of the Klondike. He does have some serious toys: A custom Ford Raptor, a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon built for rough roads, a Jeep Wrangler, a modified Chevrolet Silverado, and ATVs scattered across his claims. But most of the big money goes right back into wash plants, pumps, new ground, and his crew. When he does spend on lifestyle, it's usually for experiences, hunting trips with the crew, a 3-day Vegas run taking his dad to a World Series game, and a 3-week trip through London in 2023. The show makes him look rich. The reality is that most of his luxury spending feeds the very operation that made him rich in the first place. At 28, he makes the biggest purchase of his life, Dominion Creek, for $15 million. On paper, it could hold up to $200 million in gold. But the math is harsh. To make the deal work, he needs to average around 10,000 ounces per season for 6 years. Anything less, and the dream mine turns into a giant hole that swallows his cash. The start is ugly. In the first 4 weeks, the team gets only 135 ounces. The ground is frozen like concrete. Machines break, costs climb, fuel, wages, and parts keep needing money, even when the gold doesn't show up. Instead of backing off, he pushes harder. He spends about $540,000 on new water pumps to squeeze more gold out of every ton of gravel. Then, while Dominion is still choking the budget, he buys 2 more claims, Gold Run and Sulphur Creek, for around $2.5 million. Moving wash plants and heavy equipment more than 25 miles over rough Yukon ground splits the camp. Some think he is saving the season by opening new pay dirt. Others think he is throwing good money after bad. The gamble works for now. The new ground throws decent gold, morale improves, and the season gets a second life. From the outside, owning a $15 million mine looks like pure luxury. On the inside, it feels like a weight strapped to his shoulders every single day. Before he can own big ground, he has to rent it. One of his most important early deals is with veteran miner Tony Beats. The royalty deal sounds fair at first, 15% on the first 1,500 ounces, but every 1,500 ounces after that goes up by 5%. By 6,000 ounces, he is handing over a quarter of everything he digs. When you're small, that cut doesn't hurt much. When you start pulling thousands of ounces, it adds up fast. In one season, he has to stop at around 6,000 ounces just to avoid going broke on royalties. In another season, roughly 8,000 ounces mined means almost $2 million going straight to Tony. Under that kind of pressure, he starts to get creative. The crew switches wash plants as they get close to each royalty threshold, trying to reset the count and keep more of the gold. Then, the situation blows up. Tony finds out that dirt from another claim is being run through his ground in a way that lowers his cut. He shuts things down. Tempers explode. For Tony, it looks like a broken contract. For Parker, it feels like trying not to drown under a deal that no longer makes sense. The rivalry becomes a highlight of the show. The older, king of the Klondike, and the young miner whose results threaten everyone else around him. The deeper lesson is simple. As long as someone else owns the land, they control how much of your success you actually keep. It's one of the reasons Parker is so focused on owning his own ground now, even if it means carrying millions in debt. Another key rivalry in his story is Todd Hoffman. At one point, Parker buys a wash plant from Todd for 700 grams of gold, about $46,000 at the time. Todd thinks he has finally gotten rid of useless equipment. Parker turns that junk into one of the machines that helps drive his own big seasons. As Parker's gold totals rise and Todd's results struggle, the tension between them grows. Todd calls him out for being disrespectful to older workers, annoyed that a young boss can talk down to people with more years in the business. The problems don't stay just words. Their crews clash. Arguments over who's doing better and who's doing things right turn into real fights on set. There are shouting matches, accusations of sabotage, and moments where production has to step in just to keep things from getting out of control. By 2018, Todd leaves Gold Rush. His mining results have been disappointing, and being constantly compared to Parker's record seasons becomes too much. He later says the stress and the effect on his mental health weren't worth it. He comes back later with a new show, but the original Rivalry has already made its mark. For viewers, it's drama and entertainment. For the people on those crews, it's their job, their income, and their pride. While Parker builds a fortune, his personal life gets more complicated. In Australia, he meets veterinary nurse Ashley Ewell. She joins him for 2 years in the Klondike, not just as a girlfriend, but as a full member of the crew, working in the gold room and in day-to-day operations. Their relationship ends after one of his biggest seasons, where the crew pulls around 8,400 ounces worth over $10 million. Later, he calls the breakup one of his biggest failures. He admits that he never made her a real priority and that she deserved more than the leftovers of his time and energy. Ashley quietly deletes photos, moves back to Australia, and never makes a big public scene about it. After Ashley, fans start hunting for clues. In August 2018, Parker posts a photo with British TV professional Sheena Cowell, who works with Knickerbocker Glory TV. The internet decides she must be his new girlfriend. They never confirm anything, and reports eventually say Sheena has a boyfriend elsewhere. Then comes Tyler Mahoney, a fourth-generation Aussie gold prospector. In 2020, on Season 4 of Gold Rush, Parker's Trail, they work side by side across 9 episodes. They are the same age, have similar backgrounds, and the chemistry on screen is impossible to miss. Reddit and social media are convinced something is going on. Parker later buys a claim in Australia, which keeps the rumors alive. But as of 2023 and 2024, neither of them has confirmed a relationship. The pattern stays the same. The mine comes first, and any relationship has to fit into a life built around short seasons, long hours, and constant pressure. Not every problem comes from broken machines or bad ground. Some come from people, contracts, and paperwork. During the filming of Parker's Trail in Papua New Guinea, tension builds between Parker and cameraman James Lavelle. They clash over what shots are worth the risk, including filming a dangerous river crossing. One day in July, it boils over into a screaming match said to last more than 3 hours. People hear them from over 100 meters away. Within 3 days, Lavelle is taken off the shoot. Only around 60% of the planned footage is finished. The scramble to rework the project costs the production company an estimated $380,000. Lavelle later sues for breach of contract. The case settles out of court. They never work together again. Even small mistakes can blow up. In 2019, he's pulled over on the Haines Highway in Alaska for speeding by just a few miles per hour. It's a simple $60 ticket. He doesn't deal with it on time. The court sends a warning. He finally settles it. And that should be the end. Instead, TMZ picks up the story, and social media turns it into a joke about the millionaire miner who couldn't bother to pay a tiny fine. But the worst test comes in 2024 during Season 15 at Dominion Creek. In June, a major equipment failure destroys a big part of the plan, costing an estimated $2.3 million in potential gold. Permitting problems shut down part of the site for 17 days, burning another $1.5 million in expenses and lost production. By August 3rd, the operation is down to about $78,000 in cash, barely enough to run the mine for a week. At that point, the rich and luxurious lifestyle doesn't look so luxurious. To pay his crew, Parker pawns a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air that belonged to his grandfather. It's one of his most personal possessions. He gets around $115,000 for it and puts the money straight into payroll. On August 28th, he gathers the crew and tells them the truth. The season is on the edge. If anyone needs to leave, they can. 3 key crew members, including mechanic Mitch Blaschke, decide to stay and work without pay for 2 weeks just to keep the doors open. Finally, on September 7th, the gamble pays off. They hit a rich streak streak and pull 1,872 ounces in a single week, worth about $3.5 million. The season goes from almost dead to saved in 7 days. Most of this is filmed. Only parts of it ever make the final cut of the show. From the outside, Parker Schnabel looks like a classic reality TV millionaire. Big gold totals, high per-episode pay, expensive trucks and toys, land and houses in Alaska and the Yukon. But when you look closer, the story is different. As a kid, he's running machines at Big Nugget, while other kids play video games. As a teenager, he turns $663,000 of college money into equipment and pulls 1,029 ounces in one season. By 24, he had taken more than $13 million worth of gold out of the ground. At 28, he signs a $15 million deal for Dominion that nearly breaks him. He fights through brutal royalty deals with Tony Beats, public rivalries with Todd Hoffman, big love stories that don't survive the lifestyle, and a season so bad he has to pawn his grandfather's beloved car just to pay his people. Yes, he has houses. Yes, he has expensive trucks and off-road toys. He takes trips to Vegas, hunts with his crew, and travels overseas. But the clearest picture of his rich and luxurious lifestyle shows up in 3 simple facts. First, his crew gets paid first, even if it means he sells something he loves. Second, most of his money goes back into mines, machines, and ground, not into private jets or mega mansions. And third, he always bets on work, not comfort. The ground never lies. It doesn't care about fame, views, or followers. It pays people who prepare, plan, and show up every day. It punishes people who think money will save them from bad decisions. Parker's life proves that. When things fall apart, he does what he learned as a kid at Big Nugget. Fix what's broken, outwork the problem, and let the gold total answer every question. If you want more deep dives into miners, builders, and operators who live by real numbers, not just TV drama, this is your moment. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay tuned for the next episode. The cameras will keep rolling. This channel will keep showing what they don't.